Let's be real for a second, everybody acts like nepotism in the NBA is some new trend, like the league suddenly became a playground for rich kids with legendary last names. But let me hit you with a little truth bomb. It's been happening for decades, and it's nothing new. The only thing that is new? Now, we actually talk about it. Social media gave everyone a platform to rant about how Bronny James shouldn't be on an NBA roster, or how Shareef O'Neal only got looks because of his last name. But guess what? Nepotism was alive and kicking back when VHS tapes were still a thing. And if you look at the trend, it's fascinating. The sons of good but not superstar players, guys like Del Curry or Joe Bryant, those kids seem to have a higher success rate. Steph and Kobe, they didn't just meet expectations, they rewrote them. But when your dad is an all-time great, the pressure hits different. Your name alone becomes a burden. Enter Bill Walton, a superstar in his era, and his son Luke, a decent role player and a better coach, but no one's confusing him with a legend. It's the same story playing out now. Shaq was a generational talent, unbreakable, unstoppable, a human wrecking ball, and his son Shareef struggling to average 5 points in the G League. Dwyane Wade, a top 3 shooting guard in NBA history. His son Zaire, also hanging around the G League trying to get reps. And Bronny, yeah, Bronny gets dragged online for being statistically the worst player on a guaranteed contract. It's wild. But then there's this one kid who's messing up the whole pattern. A kid who's the son of a true NBA legend. We're talking 6 rings, Hall of Fame, all-time legacy, and instead of folding under the pressure like everyone else, he's actually thriving. And here's the kicker, nobody even talks about him. No viral mixtapes, no hype documentaries, just a relentless grind that's finally paying off. You already know who we're talking about, Scotty Pippen Jr. Buckle up. Now, imagine being the son of Scottie Pippen, a literal cornerstone of the greatest dynasty in NBA history, and still not getting any love. No headlines, no 5-star ranking, not even a courtesy ESPN Top 100 placement. That was the reality for Scottie Pippen Jr. While other nepo babies were out here getting shoe deals and Slam magazine features before they could even shave, Pippen Jr. was grinding in the background, just trying to get seen. And the craziest part, he played at Sierra Canyon. Yep, that Sierra Canyon. The same team that had Bronny James, Marvin Bagley, Cassius Stanley, and Kenyon Martin Jr. It was like the Avengers of high school hoops. Every game was a media circus. But did anyone pay attention to Scottie Pippen Jr.? Nope. No fanfare, no flashy headlines. Despite averaging 16.3 points, dishing out assists, and helping that team win a state title, he was just the other guy. It's not like he had terrible options either. He got D1 offers, Washington State, UC Davis, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, but none of the Blue Bloods came calling. No Duke, no Kentucky, not even UCLA. He chose Vanderbilt, a school that hadn't been a basketball powerhouse since, well, ever. And still, he didn't pout. He didn't tweet cryptic messages or start blaming the system. He just said, cool, let's work. Meanwhile, the media was all over Shareef O'Neal, like he was the second coming of Shaq, even though his game was nowhere near that level. Bronny was treated like royalty from day one, but Pippen Jr., he had to earn every rep, every start, every minute, and that's what makes his rise so different. He's not in the league because of his name, he's in the league in spite of it. In a world where everyone's chasing instant success, Scottie Pippen Jr. was playing the long game, and let me tell you, it's rare. Most kids these days treat college basketball like a layover. They're trying to spend the least amount of time there as possible before declaring for the draft. One good week, boom, I'm out. But Pippen Jr., he used college like a training ground, not a trampoline. His freshman year at Vanderbilt was respectable. 12 points, 3.6 assists, 2.8 rebounds, and some defense to go along with it. Not superstar numbers, but enough to build on. And instead of chasing clout and prematurely entering the draft, he did something most players in his position don't. He stayed put. Sophomore year, big jump, 20.8 points per game, improved efficiency, more playmaking, and now scouts were starting to pay attention. Most players would have said, okay, I've done enough, I'm declaring. But not Scotty. He wanted to refine his game even more, so he came back again for a third year. You could tell he wasn't chasing the quick bag, he was chasing longevity. The stats didn't skyrocket, but his game matured. better decision making, fewer turnovers, improved leadership, another All-SEC first team nod, and still no draft pick. He went undrafted in 2022, and that moment right there is where a lot of guys quit, especially when they've got a famous last name, especially when they could have taken shortcuts. But Scottie Pippen Jr. didn't flinch. He wasn't here to live in his dad's shadow. He was here to build his own name, and he wasn't going to let a draft snub stop him. After going undrafted, Scottie Pippen Jr. linked up with the Lakers for Summer League, and guess who else was there? Shareef O'Neal. Yep, Shaq's son. The duo was being marketed like it was 2K My Team. What if Shaq and Pippen teamed up in the 90s? But in reality, only one of them looked like he belonged, and it wasn't Shareef. Pippen Jr. showed out. 11.8 points, 4.8 assists, 3.2 rebounds, 2.6 steals. Played with energy, IQ, and hustle, but his shooting was rough. 35% from the field, 22% from three. Not pretty. Still, the Lakers saw enough to offer him a two-way contract. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a chance. Then came the G League, and let me tell you, Scottie Pippen Jr. was cooking. With the South Bay Lakers, he averaged 22.2 points, 5.3 assists, 3.7 rebounds, 1.7 steals. He was efficient, he was smart, and he looked NBA ready. But guess what? He barely got minutes in the big league. 4 of his 6 appearances, 5 minutes or less. Meanwhile, Bronny, statistically worse in almost every category, was getting real NBA minutes. That's not hate, that's just facts. Pippen Jr. was putting in work. The media, silent. The Lakers, ignoring him. He was a ghost, and you could feel it building. This frustration, this fire. And just when it looked like the league was about to sleep on him for good, Memphis came calling. Alright, let's talk drama. When you thought Scottie Pippen Jr.'s road to the NBA was already hard enough, life threw him a curveball straight out of a soap opera. Imagine grinding every day to make it to the league while one of your teammates is dating your mom. Yeah, that happened. See, while Pippen Jr. was at Vanderbilt trying to make a name for himself, his mother, Larsa Pippen, made headlines of her own. She started dating Malik Beasley, an active NBA player just a few years older than her son. Beasley, born in 1996, was only a few years removed from Scottie Jr.'s age. And the memes? Oh, they were relentless. Twitter was flooded with jokes, Instagram was wildin' out, and Pippen Jr. caught in the middle. At first, he kept it low-key, liked a few tweets clowning the situation, basically saying his mom was embarrassing him. But eventually, he took the high road, tweeted, "I'm focused on myself and my goals. I'm not responsible for nobody's actions. It's all good over here." And that's the moment right there that tells you everything you need to know about Scottie Pippen Jr. While most people would have spiraled, while others might have let the distractions mess with their grind, he doubled down, kept his head down, and it kept working. But plot twist, Malik Beasley ended up getting traded to the Lakers in 2023. Yep, the same team Pippen Jr. was with. Now he had to show up to the gym, look across the court, and see the guy who dated his mom. At that point, how does this not feel like a cruel joke? And just when you think it couldn't get weirder, Larsa Pippen moved on to Marcus Jordan. Yeah, Michael Jordan's son, the son of the man who famously didn't get along with Pippen Sr. back in the day. And now Larsa's dating him? It's like the plot of a reality show, only it's real life. But through all that noise, all the chaos, Scottie Pippen Jr. stayed focused. He never made excuses, never asked for sympathy, never lashed out. And that mental toughness, that's what made the next part of the journey possible. After being ignored, overlooked, and thrown into awkward situations in LA, Pippen Jr. was on the verge of giving up. And honestly, nobody would have blamed him. Even his dad, Scottie Sr., was like, "Yo, maybe it's time to play overseas." That was the advice. Leave the NBA dream behind and take your talents abroad. But just when it looked like the dream was dying, the Memphis Grizzlies stepped in, and what a perfect storm it was. Memphis was dealing with the worst injury luck in the league. Their roster was a walking rehab center. But you know what injuries bring? Opportunity. The Grizzlies signed Pippen Jr. to a two-way contract, and while he technically was supposed to be G League bound, they needed bodies. So he skipped the hustle and went straight to the show. And in his his first real NBA minutes against Miami, Pippen Jr. didn't just survive, he thrived. Dropped 15 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, shot 71% from the field. All of a sudden, the guy who couldn't get 5 minutes in LA was making real plays for a real team. Then came the final 12 games of the season, and that's where Pippen Jr. unleashed. 14.8 points per game, 4.3 assists, 3 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field and 36% from 3. But the best game? Oh man, that came against the Lakers, and you could feel it was personal. He torched them, 28 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 steals. Played like he had something to prove, because he did. The team that wouldn't give him a shot had to sit and watch him dominate in their face. It was poetic, and finally, after all, the setbacks, all the snubs, all the awkward headlines, Scottie Pippen Jr. was making noise. Now this is the kind of moment that gives you chills. The kind of moment that goes from basketball stat to NBA legacy. Scottie Pippen Jr. had been hooping, but then he did something that no other second generation player has done before. He made NBA history alongside his father. Let's rewind. February 2nd, 1989. Scottie Pippen Sr. notches his first career triple-double against the Sacramento Kings. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Fast forward nearly 35 years, and on November 9th, 2024, Scottie Jr. matches it. 11 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Against all odds, against all criticism, against all the memes, he joins his father in the record books, making them the first father-son duo in NBA history to both record triple-doubles. Let that sink in. All those years of grinding, G League nights, the awkward headlines, the doubt, the disrespect, and now he's literally standing in his father's historic footsteps and adding his own footprint. For a kid who got no media love, no draft night highlight, that moment was everything. And he wasn't done yet. If that triple-double was the emotional payoff, what happened next was straight out of a sports movie. The Grizzlies roll into Chicago, the United Center, the house that MJ and Pippen built, and hanging in the rafters, his dad's jersey, immortalized, untouchable. That's the pressure cooker Scottie Jr. walked into, but instead of shrinking, he balled the hell out. Career high 30 points, 10 assists, 13 of 16 from the field. He torched the Bulls in the very arena where his dad became a legend. It was poetic, it was powerful, and most importantly, it was personal. He said it himself. Seeing my dad's name up there, it's a dream come true. The kid who nobody ranked, who went undrafted, who got disrespected by the Lakers, who got clowned because of his mom, just dropped a masterpiece in the exact place where his father made history. It was more than just a game, it was a statement. And now, everybody had to pay attention. Alright, let's check the scoreboard. In the 2024-25 season, Scottie Pippen Jr. is no longer just a feel-good story, he's a legit impact player. 33 games played, 22 wins, 12 starts, averaging 23 minutes per game and putting up solid, efficient stats. 10.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, 3.1 assists, a steal per game, and 6 double-doubles. This ain't charity minutes. This ain't garbage time. This is rotation level productivity, and people are starting to whisper 6th man of the year. Yeah, really, because he's not just playing, he's winning. What's crazy, even with all that success, he still plays like he's got something to prove. He doesn't coast, he doesn't flex, he's still locked in, every possession, every game. Coaches love that, teammates trust that, and the league, it's finally waking up. And now the full circle is complete, because at 24 years old, Scottie Pippen Jr. has become exactly the kind of player every coach wants. A smart, gritty, two-way baller who doesn't need the spotlight to be effective. He passes, defends, scores, and just straight up knows how to play basketball. He's not flashy, he's not showy, he's strategic. He sees holes in defenses and punishes them. He reads plays 2 steps ahead. He finishes through traffic, he hustles on defense, and he turns steals into fast break points. Like a pro. And most importantly, nothing was handed to him. Scottie Pippen Jr. earned everything. The contract, the minutes, the headlines, all of it. No favors, no special treatment. His dad never pulled strings. This wasn't a Hollywood script. This was a grind it out, make it happen journey. And in a league full of sons riding their father's coattails, Pippen Jr. carved his own lane. The future, bright. A big payday is coming, playoff moments are coming, and if this kid keeps up the pace, he's not just gonna be a feel-good story, he's gonna be a force. And if you ever want to know what it looks like to succeed without shortcuts, just look at Scotty Pippen Jr., the blueprint for every kid trying to escape their last name and build a legacy of their own.